What's up? Oh no, one of us is gonna have to change.
Nice.
Uh-oh.
That's the color I need right there. Oh, and the USIs too.
Those epics on there? New Year's Day in the shop here. I got to go through Tylor's VR1 Boost. We got to do the reed manifold, the pedals, chain case service, general check over, jack shaft driver bearing. You know, the usual preseason type stuff. It's got 3,300 miles on it, and the chain case has never been touched. I'm assuming that's going to come out like black, brown, water, nasty stuff in there just because of the heat from the boost sleds that, you know, gets packed all down in there. So we'll see what that comes out looking like. He just had the skid out, did new slides, checked the idlers. He put the high gear linkage kit in. It's got some CNAs with the profile runner thing. I covered that on hardcore last year when I tried those out. We did the sway bar modification on this last season. He just had all the shocks redone by high gear, dual rates up front. He had dual rates and stuff on it last year, some different valving. He's trying out high gear this year, hopefully looking for a little bit more compliance all around throughout all the conditions. Last year was kind of a big bump specific setup that he wasn't overly thrilled with, so we're trying something different this year. I'm really interested to see how this thing compares to my 650. They're both 129s. He's got high gear revalving, high gear dual rates with the linkage kit in the back. I obviously have my setup, tall spindles, shocks built and valved by Andy, my spring rates that I worked with Andy on. I basically gave Andy, I said, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And he said, yep, that's fine, let's run that. So I'm curious to see how these two compare. You know, they both have the high gear linkage in the back, but I have the long tail springs modified into mine, tall spindles. You know, it's going to be interesting. Uh-oh. I do want to say that I'm not going to cover this reed manifold install as in-depth as I did on my personal assault. If you found this video looking for kind of like a how-to on the reed manifold install, I'll put the link in the description to my personal assault video where I went through and really kind of covered all the tricky parts and basically the whole process of doing that reed manifold and pedal install. This one I'm just going to kind of do like an overview of the entire thing that's here, the entire project, I guess you want to say. Try to keep it, the usual kind of entertaining, time-lapsey, cover some stuff of what I found or whatever. But like I said, I'm just not going to make it a 20, 30-minute long video. I'm going to try to keep it around that 10 to 15-minute mark, hopefully. Dude's got this bare bones little red dealer key taggy jobber thing on here. We're gonna get rid of that for him. Can't be riding around with that. Gotta get it churched up a little bit. Oh, wait, how? Yep, that'll work, that'll be fine. Go true to key. Take whatever these go to. It's like he's got storage locker keys on here. Nice little black and red Turbo Guard keychain jobber. Turbo Guard, if you guys aren't familiar with them, they make not necessarily mesh, but kind of like wire screens. They have hexagon patterns. They've got all different screen sizes for the inlets of turbos. If you're running like a drag application or whatever where you don't have a filter or you're not gonna run a filter, you put a Turbo Guard on there to stop all the big chunks. You can do all kinds of custom colors. Engraving, they can do custom clamps, whatever you want. The world's your oyster with Turbo Guard. Any of you drag guys, if you're gonna plumb, like a big velocity horn or something, you can put that behind the horn so that way if you do wind up sucking snow dust or chunks, it'll stop all that. Or drag cars, drag bikes, whatever. Any big turbo application where you don't want to run a filter and you want the maximum flow, at least throw a Turbo Guard on there. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but every one of these retainer clips, these guys, they're the little ones they bite onto the plastic. This one's supposed to go up here. The ones on the back of the hood were off, just like that one. This one back here is also separated. There was one on the hood that was separated like this. There was one that was completely just not on, like that one. It's just kind of interesting that a bunch of those are missing. Or not missing, but they're just not on. Strange. Like the best tool I've ever bought. It's such a simple tool, but it's so nice to just drop this on and turn that nut without having to get channel locks or whatever. One of those ones where like, it shouldn't bring you as much joy as it does, but it really does. Airbox is about ready to come off. I got to undo the clamps on that. There's a couple more wiring things, but they'll come undone after I get the airbox out. Aside from it being really like dirty in here, you know, it's just kind of, it's actually not that bad really. It's just the belt dust and dirt and grime that accumulates, you know, over 3,000 miles. It's just what it is. Nothing alarming so far. Everything checks out and looks the way it should. It's all coming apart pretty good. So I'm gonna keep plugging away. Let's take a look at what we got here. So most of these are in significantly better shape than mine were. And mine had 1,000 less miles. We ride together all the time. Not like riding style is different. Fuel is mostly the same. So yeah, I guess it's just kind of a luck of the draw thing. You can see we got some cracks forming on that one. Goofy little wear pattern there. There was one was starting to wear back here. On the PTO side, might be, yeah, there you go. You can see on these, they're all starting to get wavy on the ends, but none of them are as burnt up as mine were. But the mag ones, pretty good. Yeah, that one's got some waves to it. Again, I'm going over these as I just barely got them off of here and really kind of starting to look at them while I film it here. So yeah, I guess they pretty much all are starting to kind of wear on the ends. This one's pretty good, but it looks like most of them. That one's pretty good too. That one's got some waves in it, some burns on the edges. So yeah, I don't know. Might be a luck of the draw type thing, or potentially how you ride. But like I said, we're kind of in the same group, riding the same style most of the time. So I don't know. It is what it is. I'm going to keep chugging away, getting this thing all back together, swapping these pedals over, buttoning up the cages into the Indy Specialty manifold, and then back in the sled, try to button up most of it, and then I got to do the chain case service. So like I did on mine, I'll probably end up leaving some paneling off so it's easier to get to the brake caliper bolt to a long extension from the other side, that kind of thing. Oh yeah, that's nice stuff right there. Also, look at how black and it is burnt in here. It stinks, dude. It's about as I expected it to be. Whoa, grody. Should fire it up. Fuel pump, well, it's got a prime fuel pump, so that'll take a minute. I'm tired, my back hurts. Let's see. Ta-da! Cool, that's another one done. I'm gonna go ahead and move some stuff around in here now. Degrease everything underneath in the belly pan. I use that foaming engine cleaner. You've probably seen some of the other videos. Spray that in there, let that soak for a little bit, hose it all out. I'll probably throw the panels on after that and actually wash the whole thing because it's been in his barn for a while. It's quite dusty. Got Tylor's reed manifold swap all buttoned up. I got the sled washed and cleaned, got all that barn dust off of it. Now I'm gonna go ahead, put it up in the air, check the track tension, look over the rear skid, make sure everything's good to go there. Then I'm gonna move on to the front, check all the A-arm bushings, retorque those if I have to, and then kind of give everything else just a general once over, and that'll be it for tonight. Alrighty, most of the hardware looks pretty good to go. Track tension's a little bit loose for what I like on the non-extrovert drivers that the Polaris have, so I'll tighten that up. And then this one torsion spring is not in the groove there, no big deal. Take it off the front, pop that on, swing it back on, good to go. Front end on this thing, 3,300 hard miles. The lower ball joints are pretty cooked. The right side is worse than the left. The upper A-arm bushings tightened up fine, retorqued those, that's all good to go, but there is some play in the ball joints, so I'll recommend that to him, see what he wants to do about that. I would imagine we'll do them at some point. Whether or not they make it into this video or not, I don't know. Vermont, great. Heater kicked on, that's gonna hose my audio. That's another one all done, ready for snow. So we're just kind of in that holding pattern like everyone else, waiting for some storms to roll in. There's a few coming up, maybe something this weekend. We might get enough to at least do some field testing here, and then maybe southern areas are gonna get more, so we might be able to go down south and ride. Canada's supposed to get a bunch over the next week, so hopefully by next weekend we'll be back on the trail riding. But until then, shop stuff is booming, Tylor's all ready to go. Catch you on the next one.